We live.
Hey, shalom, right, y'all.
Shalom.
Hey, we want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash.
hey, double honors to the apostles and elders that rule well. Hey, and also peace and blessings to the brothers out there that speak the word and sincerity, also in truth. Now, as you could see, if you've been paying attention to contemporary news, it's getting more and more heated with geopolitical politics and things of that nature, and also this, dealing with the news of America, right? We have more and more racial tension, tension with different the sex, genders, and things of that nature. And what is that going to culminate to? Well, that's going to culminate into all hell breaking loose, right, which we prophesy about, daily, man. So as we see these certain things happen, it's important that we are relying on the teaching of the scriptures versus, how we should do certain things. Because, the Most High puts you in certain scenarios that will induce you to want to act like the old man. Case in point, you get into it with your girl or something like that. You might initially want to, extreme example would be lay hands on her or choke her out, talk to her crazy, things of that nature. But a man of prudence knows that, we're not really in a time for that, man. Why is that? Because he can potentially mess your life up, or you potentially mess up your situation. Right. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to talk too much. Let's get Isaiah 33 and 6. Start that off.
I got it. It's Isaiah chapter 33 and 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure."
That's right. So when you operate with the fear of Yahweh by Shai, there's a certain way in which you can maneuver through this life, man.
Right.
You're gonna have the brotherhood in mind, and also you're gonna have, your ministry in mind, man. Because you cannot negate the fact that we are ambassadors of Yahweh Shai. So as we are going to our jobs, as we're interacting with these people, as we're posting things on social media, things of that nature, right? Well, there's a certain image in which we want to portray ourselves, man. Because why is that? Because we're not representing ourselves. We represent the true name of the Lord. When people think of Yahweh by Shai, what group do they think of? They think of GMS, right? And if we understand that that's the true name of the power, right? Well, there's a certain way in which we have to operate, man.
Right.
Yes,
You want your actions to be soaked, pretty much with the fear of the Lord, because if you get proud in these, and we're living in a time of judgment like the priest is going into. So right now is not the time to be reckless. Not right now is the time to actually calculate and think before you do. Mm-hmm. All right.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8. I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, "Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing." And that word "shall feel" goes into "shall experience nothing harmful." It says, "And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment."
Man.
So if you keeping to the best of your ability the commandments of Yahweh Shai, all right, you discern the times that you win. You discern how you're supposed to be acting in the time that you're in, whether it's a good time for you to speak, or whether it's a good time for you to refrain from speaking. You discern the times, whether it's a time of love or it's a time of hate. It's a time for war or it's a time of peace, right? Verse 6, it says, "Because to every purpose there is time and judgment. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him. For he knoweth not that which shall be. For who can tell him when it shall be?"
Man, so you don't know what's going to happen. So it's very important that you are putting out a positive, for lack of a better term, vibration, man. Because you don't know what's going to happen. And a huge stumbling block for a man of the truth is knowledge and the accumulation of that knowledge, man. And we know that knowledge, like the brother said, knowledge puffeth up. The more knowledge that you get and longer that you stay in the truth, that demon of feeling yourself, man, can jump on you to where you begin to be rash. And you let your guard down, and guess what happens? And well, that's when Satan creeps in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's very important as you know we're placed in these positions. You know, we're called priests and things of that nature. You know, that we're being mindful of why we're here. We're not here for our own vain glory, right? Because if you're in here for that, that's when that justification demon can jump on you, man. To when you begin to justify or rationalize you're wrong. Oh, that's just my personality. But what is truth about it isn't about your idiosyncrasies. And that's just a fancy word that means a characteristic that's, you know, special to you. Oh, well, I'm passionate, brother. So I'm fiery. You know, that's just who I am. Well, no, but that doesn't mean that you could just act the dang old fool and jump down brother's throat. That's going off, man. Having wrath and things of that nature. Oh, yeah, then that's just an example, right? Going through certain things, or I like to drink. That's just my thing. You know, to the point to where you getting locked up or you forgetting what the heck you're saying. You know, you don't talk crazy to a brother because you don't got pissy drunk. This truth isn't about that, man. You know,
Yep.
you have to guard your soul while you're in this truth, because again, Satan can easily come in when you're being lackadaisical and take you out of this thing, man. What's that? First or second? Peter 5 and 8.
I got it.
Come on.
This is Ephesians chapter 5 and 17.
You start 15.
It says 15. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sure. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise."
That's right. So what does circumspectly means? You mean you're looking around? Does that mean physically looking around? It could mean that, but that means spiritually looking around. You're being very mindful of what you say and what you do, right? Yes, we're here to work out our own salvation, but a huge catalyst to working out your own salvation is being very mindful of how you treat your brother, and how you and also how you treat the people in your everyday life, man. You know, Jake forgets about that too. This thing isn't about being a guerrilla Hebrew Israelite, man. So you're lording over people just because the Most High blessed you with this knowledge, so you think you can talk to people crazy. Hey, this thing of ours isn't about being seen as a smuck that knows a whole bunch of Bible verses, man. There's a certain way in which you're supposed to be conducting yourself. The scriptures go on to let your light shine. What is that light? Well, that light is alluding to this knowledge.
All right. "Redeeming the times because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
Man,
And be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit."
anybody have something?
Yes.
Proverbs 14:12. "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." So men have certain evil actions that you might think is lawful, right? But they're not, because if you're not going by the rule of Yahweh Shemashai's will in the scriptures, then you wouldn't know, right? So you have to always, basically, like the scripture said, examine yourself constantly, you know. And I got one more. Jeremiah 6:16. "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, stand ye in the ways, and seek and ask for the old path, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." And our people they refuse to walk in that way of the old way, the old true righteous way, which basically leads to the Israelites' destruction. Jeremiah spoke about it in the 12th chapter, 18th chapter, the 23rd chapter, and the 31st chapter. When you read it, he spoke heavy on that, how Israel was refusing to walk in the way of the Lord. And you have to continue to walk in that way. So the ways that you think are lawful, you would know when you walk in that way before, like the brother said, you have to think. We're in that time where you have to really sit down and think before you act.
It's the book of Colossians chapter 4. I'll start at verse 5 and verse 6 as well. It says, "Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time."
Man, so you supposed to walk in wisdom with those to those who are without, because at the end of the day, you really don't know who you're talking to, man. You see, hey, the Most High can have it to where the person that you are belittling, that you are calling a 2/3, he's raised up in the spirit, man. Hey, the scriptures talk about that in Luke, the 14th chapter. You see, here you are, you know, you could be looking at a brother that hasn't crossed over yet. You looking at him like he a peon, you know, and the Most High raised him up in the last day. And we come in them times where these brothers that are coming in on a very high level, you know, than when we first came in. Why is that? Because the Most High is endowing them with a greater amount of that spirit, man. Because of the times that we're living in.
Right.
Some of the greats are now being risen up. So you want to be very mindful of how you treat people, man.
Right. Right. And also people that ain't in the truth shouldn't really have bad reports of you. People in the world shouldn't, you know, like that you work with, or you shouldn't be at work wilding out. You shouldn't be in this world using the fact that you know the truth, shitting on people, talking shit, being an asshole, being a demon. The people in the world should basically be like, well, he was a respectable, you know, man. You know, I mean, from what I know. Now, they might not agree with you and what you believe once they see you on the news, but they really shouldn't have a report of you to where you just wilding out or being unruly.
That's right.
They should be, basically, when they see you, although you keep it on Clark Kent mode, they should see a representative of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know? All of these things are important because the ministry can't be blamed by your actions. And see, we're coming to times where things are going to be happening to you. And if you resort back to the old man and how you react to these things, then you could be, that could be it. You got all of this wisdom. We've been teaching all of these lessons, going out on the highways, and now we're going to be faced with some situations. And if you resort back to the old man after all of that wisdom that you didn't garner, then you're not going to be fit. So it's very important to lock into the spirit. You know?
We saw an example that we were at camp the other day. You remember Yariella when the guy came up and he said that guy walked out the dog.
Oh, come
He was like, oh, them dudes down there, them black Jews. He was like, they real harsh with their words, but he said they real respected.
Yeah.
So that was like, we saw an example of it.
Oh, that Jake who be walking the dog with the.
It was a white dude.
Oh, it was
He had
an
told
Edomite.
his-
Oh,
he told his
Salaki.
officer, yeah, we was real harsh. He said, them black Jews down there.
Yeah.
He said, we was real harsh with our words, but he said they were real respectable. Like,
Yeah.
they respect, it was like a respect he had for us out there.
And that caused the guy, I believe he was an Israelite, it caused him to come over there and listen to it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because of that good report.
Right.
So
So he,
Yeah.
because he always seen it, he said he always seen this, but he never came over there. So the guy told him that, he came over and listened to us preach for a little bit, you know.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm gonna finish this up here because it's going right into what y'all saying. This is Colossians 4:6. It says, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man."
That's right.
You know, so if your speech is seasoned with salt, like Yahweh said, we are the salt of the world, and says that you may know that how ye ought to answer every man. You ain't supposed, you know, you don't got to sit here and answer every man that walk up. Oh, fuck you, nigga. It's not. We ain't in those times. You don't know who's coming up to listen to you. You know, just like what you was talking about yesterday about when Yahweh when he said turn the other cheek, man. You gotta know how you approach people nowadays, man. You gotta know how you talk to people. You know, it's not about just being a macho man. Oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, you know what I'm saying, and then fuck everybody else. And how you gotta watch how you treat people, man.
Trying to get a victory in the flesh can offend the Lord and make you a lover of this world. That's something to think about. You know what I'm saying? When you try to get victories in the flesh, you know what I'm saying, that could offend the Lord because ultimately we don't have a victory here. And if you got to know that. So that's when you turn the other cheek, that don't mean just get hit.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, you just know, like, let them have it. You know, let the world have it. You know, unless somebody is like fit to actually destroy you or your situation, you have to, you know, but. Like arguing down people and chasing people down on the road or whatever it may be. You know, you just let this world pretty much happen. You got it.
Okay. This is Philippians chapter 2, starting at verse 1. If there be therefore any consolation in Mashiach, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any vows and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind.
Man, and when Yahushua came, what was he about? He was about his Lord's business, man.
That's right.
He had opportunities in which he could have been set up as a king. They were trying to set him up. What did he do? Well, he preferred to take the low road, man. You see? And that's the same mindset that we have to be in this truth of ours, man. You know, just like you get rank and things of that nature is not for that rank isn't for you to get big headed and to feel like you have to talk crazy, you know, to people or to lord over what you know on people, man. Or you have to feel like obligated to show everybody that you're smart. That's not what it's about, man. It's really about being a servant. That's what Yahushua did. It's gonna say that in that chapter too.
That's right.
Hey, Elder, did you have something?
No, there's one for the scripture that says, the more humble, in other words, more wise you get, the more humble you're supposed to become.
The greater you are.
The greater you are, the more humble you're supposed to become. Because really that's the key, is truth, is being humble. Being humble, being brotherly, being charitable. Scripture says if you don't have charity, then basically you don't have the love for Yahushua within you. You know, and you're supposed to be humble. And you know, this truth is not like you're saying, it's not something to brag about, feel like you're better than the next man, because we didn't gain this truth by our own will or our own power. It's because we were elected. You know, we were elected, and the 2/3 they were elected to be the 2/3, and that was it. We had like nothing to do with it. You know, it was in Job Job the first chapter. The Lord said, "I knew thee in the womb." You know. So he didn't have no choice. None of the prophets had no choice to be followed. None of us had option to do anything else, even if we wanted to leave. And I know brothers got testimonies. I got my own testimonies. I was telling my brother earlier, when I first came into the truth, I tried to come out to Texas. When I first came into the truth, it was late 90s, and the Lord had some shit go down to where I couldn't leave Connecticut because the Lord needed me there to learn this truth. So if you are meant to be in this thing, you're gonna do it no matter what, like Jonah. No matter what you do, the Lord somehow is gonna keep you in this thing, because you know it's not up to us. The Most High runs everything. The Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So you know, it's not nothing to be proud about. Yahushua was humble as hell. But Yahushua said when he comes back, he said when I come back in the book of Revelation, was it 1:7? He said, I shall not meet thee
Isaiah 47.
Isaiah 47. He said, I shall not meet thee as a man. So when Yahushua comes back, that's when we're gonna act glorious, you know? We're gonna get the spiritual power. Yahushua said, well, this is where my kingdom, my servants will fight. And that's when we're gonna get busy. Right now, at the time to act all, you know, big and tough, because we got the truth. You know, because like what did Yahushua said, that I send you as sheep, right? So and the Lord also called Jacob what? A worm. You know, meaning we're like defenseless. A worm ain't got no defense. You know, it has no defense mechanism. You got a fucking fish is the most harmless thing, right? But use a worm to catch fish. They can't even fight a fish off. Even a fish can't do shit. So we're like worms in this kingdom, you know. Esau's like a lion, right? The scriptures say the young lion, right? So we ain't gonna be fucking proud about our shit or to be all gung ho. We're just here to teach the word. You know what I'm saying? Feed my sheep, like Yahushua said. That's the only thing our purpose is to teach the word, and then when Yahushua come back, and then then we'll have our glory. You know.
Got to do the work to get the glory. Yahushua did the work.
You got to put in the work.
Before he got glorified, he had to go through what he had to go through. He had to humble himself. He had to be humiliated. Then he had to be beaten with the stripes, fulfill those prophecies. Then he got to return to the right-hand side. For us to get that glory back, we got to go through the same thing. But we bear our cross spiritually. You know?
James 4:6. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore, he giveth more grace. Wherefore, he said, the Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
Man, and to follow Yahushua, you would have to have been humble the elder had sent, both of these elders had sent a list of how the 12 disciples died, and it wasn't glorious, man. They died horrific deaths. You had some of them. One of them that had one of them that actually got crucified on a diagonal cross, man. One was upside down too. One was diagonal.
Because they said they weren't worthy to die the same way Yahushua died, so they were like upside down.
One was
Flayed.
I call it had
Humiliated.
humiliating deaths.
Yeah.
You know, humiliating deaths on everybody. And we're not, like the Lord said, we have to do we're gonna go through the same thing. You know, some brothers are gonna face death, some brothers not. But you know, we're gonna be ridiculed. We're gonna be put on TV. You know, everything. The media, we got the media now, satellites and TV, and yeah, we're gonna be all over the fucking TV or whatever, humiliated and disgraced by whoever knew us, by our families and your women and maybe your kids and all that. And you know, but that's what we're gonna have to go through. That's like the reality of the ending. You know.
Yep. Just got to keep faith that the Lord's gonna turn it all around. There's a standard coming too. You know, we in times past people had their way with the prophets. Now we're gonna go through some shit, and some's gonna be even some martyrs. But if you keep that faith that the Lord is gonna do what He promised, you know, you be good. You know.
I got something for you real quick. Unless anybody else. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gathereth her that was driven out. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. You know, so we've been put to shame here in Babylon the Great and throughout the four corners of the earth where the brothers are preaching the truth, man. But the Heavenly Father said that He's going to give us fame in the land where we were put to shame, man. You know, this is going to be, that's why Yahushua in Isaiah the 63rd chapter, it says, this is the vengeance is in my heart and this is the year of my redeeming. You see, because the prophets this time, you know, Lord willing, we those men, we're going to win this thing.
Right.
You know, so that standard is going to be lifted. But
You're
we're going to have to go through the fire, man.
We're gonna have to go through some things, man. And utilizing the example of Yahushua is important, man. Because if we react to these certain things in your life that goes wrong, even right now, you're acting like in a prideful and unfruitful manner, Satan will come in and will sweep you away. Right? It's kind of like a boxer. You know, he's known for having his hands down. You know, he fights somebody who's quick. Well, that person that's getting out jabbed is gonna lose the fight. Now, if you become private and say, you know what, I'm gonna keep my hands down. Can't no man beat me. You know, in this Philly shell. You get instead of getting tagged with that jab, what's gonna happen? When that straight gonna come, it's gonna knock you out. It's gonna take you out. Now, if you would have been stopped being prideful and put your dang on hands up, you would have won the fight. Well, that's the same thing alluded to your scriptures. If you would have just swallowed your pride and do what the scriptures say, right? By being proven in certain scenarios, you wouldn't have fell out.
I got something. This 1 Corinthians 6, it's a 9th chapter. I'm gonna start at 25. Matter of fact, at 24, right? So use the term of boxing. Paul used boxing as an analogy a lot, and he also used running a race, right? Because that's what this is like. It's like running a race. There's this quote I came across, man. This guy named Van Burden. I don't know who the guy is, but I saw this quote, and I was like, damn, this shit is true. He said, a lie has speed, but truth has endurance. All right, a lie has speed, but truth has endurance. So all the shit that Esau, all them lies that Esau put out there, that shit, you know, lies, they travel fast, right? They travel fast, but sooner or later, the truth is gonna come out. It's like holding a ball, trying to hold a ball underwater. You can hold that shit there, but as soon as you lose a little bit of strength, that ball's gonna keep fighting back. And the more you try to push it down, the faster it's gonna, and higher it's gonna pop out of the water.
This is 2 Ezra 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which had been so long without fruit shall be declared.
There you go. And the truth is being declared. The truth is being declared by the prophecies, right? Because we've been speaking about different prophecies, right, for years, you know, before I came in, my elders, our elders and apostles, before all of us came in, spoke about different prophecies that were to come to pass, and we see them come to pass now. So the truth is flourishing, right? And the things that we're talking about now that are coming to pass will doozy some mockers. And I'm talking about in modern day times, like the RFID chip. You don't see no videos about anybody talking about the RFID chips a joke and this and that. I mean, you don't see those no more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quiet.
But then they don't. You see, they don't give us no credit either. But that's all right. I mean, we don't fuck the credit. The credit goes to Yahweh Shemi Shai. But it's showing you the hypocrisy of these mother effers, right?
Right.
So you know that's going to come to pass. And then you got another big thing is the Israelite Gentile issue, right? Which that's going to be something that they're not going to be able to deny, right? Because the Lord is going to spirit on these crazy looking motherfuckers, and they're going to be prophesying, teaching the word, and breaking down scripture, breaking down the RFID microchip. Which you got camps today, I still can't break it down. You know, Cornelius issue, Israelite foreigner issue, and all that. So the truth is flourishing. You know, these prophecies are self-evidence. That's why the scriptures say, what? And it shall speak. We ain't got to do shit. The truth is going to speak it by itself. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Right? It's going to speak by itself. So you got more on that? Or you want more? You want to say on that?
No, that's it.
All right. So I'm just going to go back to 1 Corinthians, and I'm going to start at 24, right? This is 9 and 24. It says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. So this thing we're in is like a race, you know. The finish line is the kingdom of heaven, right? The kingdom of heaven is the finish line. So when you run a race, you gotta learn how to pace yourself. So you don't fry out, you don't lose energy, you don't faint, and all that stuff. And the way you do that, basically, man, is the scriptures tell you that you're gonna be under tutors, right? Until the time appointed. So the way you do that is just like when you're training or you're in boxing, you got a coach, right? You stick with a coach for a couple of years, and the coach tells you certain tricks and tips on how not to faint, and you got, you know, how to rest, how to back off and kind of rest and shit, so you get your energy back up, then go back in a fight. So little tips and tricks that you learn so you don't burn yourself out is what you learn the first couple of years until you come to a level where really you don't need no trainer no more, because you know enough to where you know what you got to do. So this truth is kind of like the same way, you know. And really, as we're gonna go back to saying that, is really you just gotta be part of the elect. You know what I'm saying? That's like really what it boils down to. You know, if you're part of the elect, you're gonna be in this thing. You know, you might fall, you might be running. You know, this is a race. You might run, you might trip and fall a couple times, but you're gonna get back up and you're gonna keep running. You're gonna run some more. You got dudes that's gonna trip and fall, then they don't get back up. Like, fuck this, that's too hard. And they don't get back in the race. You know. Then you got some dudes that get near the finish line and then they lose gas. You see? But you know, that gas is the faith, really, the faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. But it says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things, meaning you're balanced. You know? You're balanced, and when you're balanced, you're stronger. So like when you make a sword, right? The way you make a sword, you know, like Kill Bill, there's that one sword that was like a fucking master sword that no other sword could break. That's what this truth is like, you know. But the way you make them swords is you get the material, and then you gotta keep pounding. You pound it, you put it in the fire, you pull it out, you pound it, and basically you pound it to take all the impurities out of it, right? If y'all know where that scripture is about the dross, the Most High take the dross and make a finer vessel.
Ezekiel 27.
Yeah, it might be in Ezekiel, or it might be in Proverbs.
There's one in Isaiah too.
Ezekiel
12 or Ezekiel 27.
Yep. But the Lord refers to it as silver, right? And yep, it refers to us as silver. And then the Lord said, well, he's going to bring us through the fire, right? So that's the Lord purifying us, so that we become temperate, you know, and we become strong. So when all hell breaks loose in this world, you're not gonna break. You know, people see us as like emotionless. They see the way we walk around, like the vibe we got and the look we got on our face. Because the Lord's like making us dead to this world. We're like dead to this world. The scriptures talk about mortifying members, meaning like you're just dead to everything in this world. Nothing really phases you no more. You know what I'm saying? A bomb could go off and the whole city get wiped out. you know, you're gonna be like, oh shit, but hey, that's the prophecies. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is bugging out. I remember when 9/11 happened, the whole fucking world was bugging out. We was like cool as a cucumber, you know? I remember I was working, and dude like, yo, what's wrong with you? You ain't like, he's all bugging out and shit. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, you know, I didn't tell him all. I was like, hey, you know, shit happens or whatever, because we understand. But that's the Most High. He's hardening us so we don't get caught up and bugged out like this the rest of this world's gonna be. All right.
Was it Ezekiel 23?
I got one.
Which one?
Proverbs.
Oh, okay, that's probably.
Yeah, I believe that's the one.
Proverbs 25:4. It says, "Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer."
Yup. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. And that dross is like, you know, you buy that cheap ass silver.
Yeah.
What they call that shit?
10?
Huh?
Is it 10 or?
Nah, the silver they I forgot they call it. It's this fake ass silver. You might wear, you get a chain, sterling silver.
Sterling silver.
That's
Okay,
sterling
yeah,
silver, man. You wear that shit for a little while, then it start turning black. You might get a rash or some shit on your
This
skin.
funky green rash.
Yo, get a rash. That's the fucking bullshit coming out of the silver because it wasn't purified. You know that, but that's the dross. That's dross coming out of it. So when the Lord put us through this fire, the Most High is taking the dross out of the silver to make you pure, to purify you. All right? Hey, shalom.
I got something for you.
Come.
2 Timothy 2:21. If a man therefore purge himself from these, actually let me start at verse 20. It says, "But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor."
Read that again.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 20. "But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver."
And what's the house? Right? We're talking about the temple of the Lord. The house is what? Is the brotherhood.
Right. Right. It says, "But also of wood and of earth."
So I'm sorry, read that one more time.
2 Timothy 2:20. "But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth."
Of wood and of earth. So what does that mean? That you can have some
This is for honor.
so you can have some brothers when the hell comes that they gonna burn up. That's the wood, right? Like Paul said it. I don't want to quote it wrong, but Paul said basically that you're working the truth. If it burns up, don't worry about it. In other words, that means brothers that may have came in under you, that you may have brought in some fruit. Not all of them are gonna make it. Some of them are not gonna make it. So that's wood, right? The scriptures talk about you got your foundation, right? So some brothers are made out of gold and silver. That's the finer thing. Some brothers are made out of wood. Meaning when the hell comes, they can last a little bit. When that real hell comes, they're gonna burn up. You know, they're gonna burn up.
They can resort back to the old man.
Yep. Yep. Go back to the world. You know, and then truths come, they may just forget deny everything that they learned or whatever, and just go back in the world. Or they might publicly, they're gonna publicly put brothers on CNN or whatever. Oh yeah, the Hebrew Israelite, that was some BS, mind control. Like them McDonald's motherfuckers.
The Whataburger prophets.
The water prophets. Yeah, them cats. Like them, that's wood. That's more like straw or hay. They burn up quick. Yep.
Hey, remember Yahushua was on the cross, and they offered him wine mingled with myrrh, which is basically, that's a custom to help people deal with the pain. He denied it. He said, "No, I'm just gonna take, what the Lord got for me." So if you don't have that mind frame, basically you go choose comfort. All right, you go choose comfort. You go choose the flesh, and you go basically deny the Lord.
I'm gonna continue on. It says at the end of verse 20. It says, "And some to honor, and some to dishonor." Verse 21. "If a man therefore purge himself from these," and his deeds is talking about the latter, right? "He shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work."
Read that one more time.
Verse 21. "If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work."
So that goes with 1 Corinthians, what I was just reading. Basically, examine yourself. Examine yourself. Keep under your body, mortify your members. In other words, just watch yourself and nobody knows what you need to work on more than yourself, you know? Like, none of you brothers, I know personally what I need to work on, none of you brothers know. You brothers, same thing, got your own weaknesses. Like the apostles say, I think a special apostle of the Bible said this, is that your worst enemy is yourself, right? Your worst enemy is yourself because you know what your own weaknesses are, so you got, you know, like a boxer too. Satan is gonna go after your weakness. If you go in a boxing ring, you're gonna watch a tape of this dude fighting over and over again, and you're gonna look for his weak spot. Whatever his weakness is, that's where you're gonna go. Like you notice when you throw some certain combination, he might drop one of his guards. That's his weakness. So that's what Satan's gonna go after. So knowing what your weaknesses are, you gotta work on them. You know, so that Satan don't penetrate. It don't get through you and pull you out. So that takes discipline. That takes praying, fasting, and all of that. You know, but at the end of it, guess what? It comes out a finer vessel. You know, and you become stronger. You know, and then Satan's gonna send heavier demons after you. So then those are new challenges that you gotta overcome. You know, so it's all a fight, man. It's all a fight.
That's right. And those that can continue to remain in the spirit are those that's going to be the Most High's elect. You know, so all of us have to strive to remain in the spirit. How do you remain in the spirit? By doing what's prescribed in the scriptures. Following what we following after what our teachers, our apostles, and elders have continuously told us to do in the spirit, man. You see? And now resorting back to that old man, you know, in times of adversity, man. And it starts now. Right now, you know, we're in that grace period, so it's easier right now to refine yourself, man.
Right.
And in certain scenarios that occur in your life, you know, use that as opportunities to better your character, man. You see, because you're not gonna have that. We're not gonna have that grace, you know, that grace period in time of Jacob's trouble. We're not gonna have access to the internet. You can just, yeah, you can just you know, wake up at 5 a.m. and just watch a video. We're not gonna have that comfort. We might not have the comfort of calling a brother, calling a elder that you you know that you link with in the spirit. You might not have that luxury. You might be you know, in a situation where you're by yourself, you know, and you're the head of that of your household. So you're going to be put in a situation where you're going to have to leave.
You're going to have to be the breakdown. It's going to have to be in you, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Second nature in the spirit.
Yeah, it's going to have to be second. It's going to have to be, the word is literally going to have to be in you.
Yeah, that's the key thing to this truth is applying it to yourself. What's that, James, the first chapter. I'll get it real quick. Right? Was it 1 and 22? Scripture speak about that. You got to be not just a hearer of the word, because you know that was the thing that was popular back in the day. You know, you have a lot of guys that sit there and you know they quote scriptures and everything. But that's part of it. But you, more importantly than quoting them scriptures, is what? Applying them. You got to, you know, you can't be just a person that just quotes the scriptures but not applying them. You know, you can't be a hypocrite. You know, you all know what the word hypocrite comes. Oh, you got it? Okay.
James chapter 1 verse 22. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only.
Right, be doers of the word and not hearers only. Because that's what's more justified, man. Just like the parable Yahushua said with the father with the two sons. Who was more justified? He said the one that said he was going to do the father's will and didn't do it, or the son that said he wasn't going to do the father's will and still did the will of the father. He said who was more justified? The one that Jake that was bucking up at first, I ain't with that, I ain't doing that. Then guess what? He ended up doing the work will of the father. Meanwhile, the other son that was sitting there, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm gonna do that. That ain't nothing. He never ended up doing the work. You know, so the key thing, hey, in this truth is humility. Now. You know, we can't say it enough. The scriptures tell you, humble yourself before the Most High. Then the scriptures tell you that the Most High resisted the proud. You know, so that's one key thing, man. If you want to be able to continue in the spirit and you're sincere, you know, you're going to continue in humility, man. That's like,
And you don't want them to resist you when it matters, you know.
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And you just make a reprobate decision and.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got the definition, oh, okay.
Well, go ahead, read the
Definition of
definition.
Pride, a feeling or deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. The achievement of those of whom one's closely associated.
Right, and it's true. You don't want you don't want to be talking about yourself all the time. You know, I do this, I do that. I pray 10 times a day. You know, I'm always studying. I'm always in the spirit. You know,
You basically blowing your own horn.
Yeah,
It's good to
blowing-
say,
yeah.
let another man esteem you.
That's right.
So it's like, you blowing your own horn.
Even Yahweh Shai, when they called him good, he said, I ain't good. He said, no one good
Right,
for my father. in
right.
heaven."
That's it.
You know, like,
That's
Yahweh
it.
Shai always took it low. And he always said, I'm just doing my father's work. Like, he never was boasting himself like he was, you know, even though he's number one, number two under the Most High, Yahweh. Well, he came humble, you know, like, he washed his disciples' feet. Like, he acted like he was just another brother. You know what I'm saying? You know?
I got a precept for you. It's Micah 6:8.
Mm-hmm.
He has showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy power.
Right, and to love mercy. All right? You gotta be a merciful brother, man. If you ain't a merciful brother, you can't expect to receive mercy. Okay, for the situations where mercy should be applied, you better apply mercy, man. 'Cause at the end of the day, we all need Yahweh Shai, man. We all fucked up. Right? You say all the falling short of the glory of the Most High. So we hoping that the Most High have the sure mercy today. So that's why the things that, you know, the Spirit's bringing out to the brothers, these are the things that you gotta instill in yourself and pray. You gotta pray to the Lord for it, man. You know, and pretty much, brothers, if you want it, you're gonna get it. You know, if you really go to the Father, you're gonna really get it. That's why Yahweh Shai said, whosoever asks anything in my name, my Father will give it to you. So what son asks the Father for a gift and he gives him a snake? You know, I'm not quoting it verbatim. You know, the brother want to pull that scripture up too.
That goes with what y'all was saying, basically. You got to build that one-on-one relationship.
Yeah.
And that comes through prayer and faith. You know, if you have faith in the Most High, like the elder said, you ask him for anything, he's gonna give it to you. Yahweh Shai said it, and he said he upgradeth not. As long as he was not asking for some bullshit, he asked him like King Solomon. He said that because he asked for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and everything else was added unto him. Now you might not get everything else that you want, you know, but you'll get it in the kingdom. You'll get what you need. But as far as spiritual matters, you'll get it. The Most High give it to you. Because, like, say you go work on a job, right? We all working for the Most High. You go to work for a job, and your boss would wants you to do the job correctly to the best of your ability. Say, look, I need this tool and that tool. He's gonna give it to you, unless he's a shitty ass boss, you know. But the Most High is the best boss you can have. He's gonna give it to you. He's gonna get you whatever tools you need to do the job right. You know, because you want to do a good job, you want to come and have a good reputation, this and that. So that's the same way. You ask the Most High for spiritual tools.
That's right.
He give it to you.
And have, like the scripture say, have a single heart. Let your eye be single. Don't have no ulterior motive. You know, another agenda. My brother had the scripture. You just said the scripture. I know you got some too, man. All right, go ahead, brother.
All right, so James chapter 1, starting verse 5.
Yeah.
If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not.
Right. The Most High ain't gonna curse you out and rebuke you, and you know, if you sincerely asking the Most High to increase my faith, you know, which we all need, you know, need help there, right? We all could use more faith. Most High gonna say, nah, nigga, fuck you, nigga, you simple ass motherfucker.
You ain't got no faith yet.
Yeah, right? Nigga, I'm tired of your prayers, nigga. Most High ain't gonna do that, man. If you coming in the right spirit. Now, if you a demon, you know, he said the scriptures tell you, Most High, if not the prayers of sinners, man. You know?
Look at Yahweh Shai when he was on the cross, with the two male benefactors, right?
Yeah.
The one that basically, as Yahweh Shai said, that when you just, I forgot verbatim how he said it, if when y'all know where it's at. Yeah, but basically he didn't really do nothing yet to that point. I mean, I don't know, he had faith. He had faith in Yahweh Shai, and the Lord said, look, when he's gonna be with him in the kingdom of heaven.
Well, Yahweh Shai said, if you believe, that's all you gotta do is really believe.
That's all y'all believe.
He said, if you believe, you should be saved. You know. But the thing that's deep about that is that it goes in. If you believe, you ain't gonna be shitting on your brother, doing evil to the brotherhood. You ain't gonna be worshiping other gods, other idols. You know, you ain't gonna be setting anything above the Most High. If you really believe, you're gonna be doing the work. So yeah, it's all about just believing, man. You know, he said the reason why did he tell those wicked Pharisees and Sadducees they were gonna die? He said of sin because what? They believe not in me. You know?
That's right.
He said they don't. He said now they don't have a cloak. He said, "I come now they don't have a cloak for their sin, because they can't say that they didn't see the Son of the Most High." All right. So it goes back to the belief, and that's why the scriptures say, "Examine yourself." What's that? 2 Corinthians 13. We bring out right, 5th chapter, 5th verse, pardon. Whether thou being the truth, right? So you got to examine yourself, man. You got to make sure that you believe, and if you believe, you're gonna be doing the things that a believer would do. You know, it's really simple. You ain't gonna be being wicked, you know, or defiling the Sabbath, you know, having sex on the Sabbath, but I believe.
Right.
You know? That means you ain't a believer. You believe in Satan, nigga. You know?
I got that precept for you.
Come on.
This is Luke chapter 23, verse 39. And one of the malefactors which were hanged railed on him, saying, If thou be the Messiah, save thyself and us.
And you know that was a nigga, man.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
That was a grimy, low-life nigga, man. That's why the Most High, us, Yahweh Shem Shai, we can't stand grimy, low-life, piece of shit niggas, man. You know? And this is a grimy ass nigga, man. And wherever he's back, you better believe.
He back.
Yeah, he back. He back. And Yahweh Shai got him preserved, man. You know, Yahweh Shai ain't finished with this nigga, man.
Verse 40. But the other answering, rebuking him, saying, Doest not thou fear the Most High, seeing thou art in the same condition or condemnation?
See?
Yeah, he's spiritual.
He's spiritual, man. It is you about to be put to death, and you still got the nerve to talk shit. Then on top of it, as he's gonna read on to a man that's innocent, that don't even deserve what he's getting, even though we deserve what we get, you know. But that's Jake. That's a grimy ass nigga, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Verse 41. And we indeed justly.
Said, look, we supposed to be put to death. We was being wicked. We was doing wickedness, man. He said, you don't fear the Most High? He's like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? You gonna still go up? This is the Son of the Most High. You gonna talk all that shit? Go ahead. And still, yeah.
For we receive the due reward of our deeds, but this man hath done nothing amiss.
Mm.
Might be a Simon.
Yeah, side
Same shit
niggas.
you would say.
Yeah, one of them wicked ass niggas.
Yeah.
Side that's probably one of them niggas in the temple, take the money exchanges.
Yeah.
How should I get that whip?
Beat the shit out of him and ran him out of there.
Yeah, that's one of them Hotep niggas. Nah, go ahead, you got it.
So verse 42. And he said unto Yahushua, Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. And
Yeah, see, that's heavy. Because he humbled himself.
Okay.
You see? He humbled himself. He acknowledged. The Lord said, acknowledge thine offense. He said, Lord, remember me, have mercy on me when you come into your kingdom. And he acknowledged him as what? The Lord, Yahweh Shai.
Sure.
He said, Lord, remember me. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 43. And Yahushua said unto him, Verily, I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise.
Whoa.
Man.
That's deep, man. That's deep. Showing you what happens when you die. Go right back to the spirit world, to paradise.
Yeah.
And now this is a malfactor. So that shows you that there's what? There's no fucking purgatory or place where you go and burn forever.
Right.
Nope.
You know? Yahweh Shai said, you're gonna be with me today in paradise. Then Yahweh Shai said, but this nigga, he's gonna go down.
Yeah, wouldn't Satan be there?
Right.
Well, he presented himself when the sons of God, he was
Yeah.
there, he came.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he be in hell?
Right, right. Yeah. Satan be there, you know,
Chilling, throwing parties.
parties and shit, bonfires.
Yeah,
You know?
Satan, you know, where was he at? He said going to and from the earth. He didn't say he was in hell.
Yeah.
Right.
He was
That's
going
right.
to and from the earth, causing, in other words, doing the Most High's bidding.
Seeking who he may devour.
Yeah.
That's right.
But that malefactor, he was sealed. Yahweh Shai sealed him. So in other words, he's part of that 1/3.
It's part of the elect,
He's part
yeah.
of the elect. So
Yeah.
he's here today.
Yeah,
He, you know,
and then he might come back in at the last
that's
hour.
last hour, yeah.
You know, the Lord knows.
Believe.
He believed. That's all. I mean, and that's why, you know, it's not. I mean, we supposed to do the works and be diligent, but you ain't supposed to brag about what works you did. Oh, I brought this guy in. I brought that guy in. Oh, that's my fruit. That's my fruit. I did this. I did this. You know, do all this bragging and bragging. And then, like the Apostle Paul spoke about that. He said, at least I taught others and myself to be what? A castaway. All right? So it's still a thing of humbling because even though you might have did all this work and everything or whatever, we still all agree for the same penny. So that same brother that come in at the last minute, the same malefactor that at the last minute, you know, he wasn't walking through suffering with Yahushua and the disciples. But guess what? He's going to be delivered because he's part of the elect. And he believed, you know?
When we start getting persecuting whoever he is, he might come out with a good report.
Right.
Yahushua is being crucified. So in this time, when we being persecuted by the world, whoever he is, he may come out.
Yeah.
Like these men, you know.
Yeah, the Spirit might, use them to deliver us out of situations or whatever. Yeah, that's true. You know,
So Jake-
come back in your life.
It was a Jake who actually like felt that way. They used to be a part of this camp. He bragged about that. This is my fruit. This is my fruit.
Yeah.
Got rooted out, and the Lord ended up killing him 2 years later.
Yeah, most times, most dudes that do that, they end up, they don't last long or whatever. Instead of giving the credit to the Most High, you know, even 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, tell you about that. What is Paul? What is Apollos? Say ministers of the Most High. One man planteth, another man watereth, but it's the Most High that giveth increase. You know, so how you gonna sit there and, you know, but you got a lot of cats that get into that braggadocious spirit, you know. And that means that they got low self-esteem, man. You know, that's clown shit, man. You know, your works speak for themselves, man. If you're a good mechanic, your works speak for yourself. If you're a good boxer, your hands speak for yourself. Floyd Mayweather ain't got to sit there and get into a heated debate if he know how to box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
His hands speak for itself.
Yeah, can't speak for himself.
You know?
How they say your reputation precedes you.
Right.
Your reputation precedes you.
It precedes itself. That's right. Didn't it say that about Apostle Paul, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Philippians, the 3rd chapter, when he's talking about the Pharisees, circumcised 8 days.
If anybody can brag, it could have been him, basically.
Right, it could have been him.
You ain't got to get it, but yeah.
Yeah, it could have been him. But it's one, I don't know if it was Fest, I forget who it was, but that's okay. Brother had a precept. Somebody said that precept.
This is Sirach chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 15. In the day of thine affliction it shall be remembered, thy sins also shall melt away, as that heat in the fair warm weather. Y'all's going into the melt factor. You know, it says, I'm going to jump down to verse 17. My son, go on with the business and meekness. Thou shalt be beloved of him that is approved. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Just going into that humility. You know, the greater that you are, the more humble that you got to be in this thing, man.
Yep.
You know, Yahushua was the greatest example of being humble. He washed the disciples' feet. That was it on that one.
Was that in Luke where it says, I'm an unprofitable servant? After he did all what the master commanded?
Yep.
Still supposed to say that unprofitable, that means you're humble. Like the Pharisee and the Pharisee and the publican.
Actually, I had that hill.
Oh, see,
That's the spirit. You gotta break that out.
This is Luke chapter 18, I'll start at verse 9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous, they despised others.
That's a stone cold cut.
holier than now.
And then that's like you hear the apostles speak about Lahab, right? General Lahab. He was one of the top 7, like the top dudes back in the days and everything.
Yeah.
And he actually said, we know because the apostles told us back then when they came in after he left or whatever. He said that he had a fleshly heart. He said he didn't have a stony heart.
Right. He said he already in the new covenant.
He said basically he was saying that back then. He was saying he was perfect, that he didn't sin. He was a self-righteous demon back then. And that's a demon that get on you, have you thinking, how the hell you can think you so goddamn righteous? Look, we in a fucked up world. If you were so righteous, you wouldn't be here, man.
Right.
You wouldn't be in this fucking toxic kingdom, man.
Proof of that is Yahushua.
Say it again?
Proof of that is
Huh?
Yahushua. He never came back.
And that's the spirit. How shy, you don't like a nigga like that, man, self-righteous nigga. Nigga always bigging himself up to make himself feel like he's over you, man. You know?
Right, you got niggas that do that.
Yeah. And we're living in a time where you gotta correct a brother on spot or pull him to the side.
Yeah.
Let him know he got them spirits on him, you know?
And then I'll say this too. That's true, but we also live in a time where you gotta more self-govern yourself. And you better,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
don't let it get to that. It shouldn't have to get to that, especially if you've been around for a while.
Mhm.
That means you ain't getting it after a while. If a brother gotta tell you,
Right.
you know, not to eat no pork at this point, you know, and so forth and so on, then what the fuck have you been doing here all this time? You know, you speak about having rule over your own spirit, you know?
That's true.
I got something real quick about it. 1 Corinthians 10 and 11 and 12, it says, "Now all these things happen unto them for an example, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall."
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's someone that's proudful, thinking, you know, I ain't got nothing to work on, I'm good, you know? All of us, the scripture said that there's not one righteous man that sinneth not, you know? So all of us got shit we need to work on, everybody.
I gotta read that pride definition again. It says, pride, a feeling or deep pleasure, a satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. Like you did it, I done it, yeah.
Yep.
Whether you been here 10 years, 5 years, 30 years, you still say, look, I ain't nothing. It's the Lord's program because you got finished to the last nanosecond.
That's right.
I got something.
I got something.
Okay.
This is 1 Corinthians 9, and we'll start at 23. "And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible." And that's what the brother's talking about. You know, guys bigging up themselves, trying to big up themselves to say that they're over you in the spirit. You know, bragging about their own accomplishments. You don't have to do that.
And they ain't even over a roach. That's the thing. Like, they deceiving themselves, man. They thinking they on a level that they're not even on.
Right.
Okay, when it comes to something simple and basic, they get tripped up. Or they end up, you know, getting caught up into Satan's lasso, so to speak. You know?
And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air.
And when you try to get a corruptible crown, when you want praise of men and praise of the flesh, you're trying to big yourself up. That's not the kingdom.
Nah.
You can't get the kingdom by that. So you want a crown that you can look at.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
As
a
opposed
trophy.
to-
Yeah.
Sports industry.
I'm
Like
the
Mike
heavyweight
Tyson.
champion,
Yeah.
teaching.
Look what I did.
I got your kids, I'll stop at test, you know, Mike
Yeah,
Tyson, stop
yeah.
at test school,
Yeah.
I'm on Alexander the Great and this and that. And look,
Yeah, it's
where
a
he's at.
corruptible crown.
It's a
Yeah.
corruptible crowd.
And the thing is, it's corruptible because it don't last long.
It don't last
You can
long.
be the champ, the heavyweight champ 1 minute. Look at that chump, Anthony Joshua, man. Right? he was on top of the world 1 minute. Now he got that humble pie.
And they shit on you too.
Hell yeah.
They
Hell yeah.
praise you and all that when you're on top, and
Yeah.
they shit on you when you go down.
Don't make me.
Hell yeah. When you dirty. Yeah.
So you gotta be temperate, basically. You can't be too much here, you can't be too much there. You gotta find that balance.
That's right. That's right.
Middle point, middle ground.
We got a precept for you. This is 1
I
Peter
think
5,
you
1
fit.
through
There's
3.
more.
Oh, it's more select.
Yeah. It says, verse 26, 1 Corinthians 9 and 26. "I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I."
Right, and that's the key too. Not as uncertain. Like you're not sure what you in here. You know, you got certain cats. One cat came to one of the Apostle Cobb mentions it, talking about, yeah, I'm gonna leave the camp, man. This is gonna be my last camp. What the fuck you mean it's gonna be your last camp?
Why you didn't
Nigga, get the
not
fuck
come?
out of here, man. You know, just go, nigga.
Yeah, go.
What the men that
You know,
resigned.
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about this gonna be his last camp, right? And then he said, yeah, I gotta go find myself. Nigga, that's homosexual talk, man. What else you trying to find? And what else you need to know? You know?
They found it.
You know? Then months later, brother seen him, I don't know if it was with a guitar, walking around with an Edomite and shit.
I remember that.
Yeah, like, come on, man. So this Apostle Paul said, look, I'm not acting uncertain, like, I don't know, well, is this the right thing for me to be doing? Is this the truth? Are we supposed to be out there prophesying? If you ain't figured that out by now, that this is what, like the scripture that Elder read, that the Lord showed you what he required of you. If you don't understand that this is what the Lord required of us, then you wasted your time, man. You know? So the Apostle Paul said, nah, I ain't beating us, punching at the air. You know? Who's good at you sitting up there punching the air, throwing a bunch of punches in the air? You ain't knocking nobody out. If anything, you hurting yourself. Man. You know? You fuck around with full of muscle for no damn reason. You know? Now go ahead.
It says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection.
That's right. That's right. I mean, when he said, I keep under my body, meaning what? In other words, he checks himself.
Right, exactly.
Because look, it's easy for all of us to go off, man. You know, and you gotta check yourself. You gotta check yourself.
Hey, it's funny how I said one that beat it to air. Like, good fighters, they don't waste punches.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And like, when you're in this world, you can't waste energy on bullshit and try to get victories that don't mean nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Give you an example of beating the air. Watch that fight with Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez was beating the air.
Yeah.
He was punching the air and Floyd out the way, looking at him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the Matrix. He got out the way,
Yeah.
and then he's looking at the punch go by,
Right.
and then he's looking
Right.
back at Alvarez.
Right.
What are you-
You don't want to throw a punch just because you can. You want to throw punches that make sense.
That means that's right.
Right.
You want to make them all count
Right.
because now you open to be hit.
Right. There you go. You get countered.
That's true.
Tired
That's
out.
true.
Says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have
Right, and bring it under subjection, under what? Under Yahweh Shah, his word. All right? Under the elders, the tutors that have been set up over you. It's the reason why the Lord set up the apostles, man. And us elders and camp heads and stuff. It's the reason why the Lord set up men that have been approved, men that have been battle tested, man. Men that have been through shit, man. You know? He ain't set them up for you to magnify yourself against them. No, he ain't set them up for you to sit there and go toe to toe and try to match wits with them. Right? They there for your benefit, for you to learn from them. Learn from the examples that the apostles set up, man. The reason why we do what we do is because of what? The examples of the apostles, man. Through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You see, and most Israelites, they ain't gonna get it. It's just that simple. But a lot of these other Israelites, they really looking for that corruptible crown. That's why they want to do the unity camps and the Hebrew Award, Academy Awards, and you know these concert Passover.
People's emotions.
They want to get the Hebrew award from the Sod Nigga Awards.
Side nigga awards, they want to have an auditorium. Everybody, that's what they seeking after, man. You know?
Stupid ass niggas will go set up a camp in front of a fucking strip club.
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
Yeah, so man, they serious, they hardcore, man.
You hardcore fools, man. That's the most foolish thing on the planet Earth, man.
But then they're gonna talk about the sisters of Israel. Let me tell you about
There
the
ain't no
strippers,
sisters
man.
of Israel.
No. I'm talking about the strippers.
Yeah.
I call them strippers sisters of Israel before I call these hoes that actually call themselves Israelites, man.
Oh yeah.
The Lord said, right, say it, because I think you're gonna say what I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
the Lord said they gonna go in the kingdom.
They gonna go in the
They
kingdom.
got a better chance.
Because they more honest about
Yeah,
it.
they know that.
Yeah, they know that they're going on.
Yeah.
But your so-called ayashas, right?
Yeah.
Even in our so-called demons, they swear that they believe in the Most High and everything, and they wicked as all hell.
Yeah.
So they got a chance of making it before all women. What you know? Why you mess bothering them sisters? Leave them sisters alone, man.
But then if I walk out of there, he'll curse me out.
Yeah. See, trying to haul it now, you know.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, some people have the spirit and some don't. They don't have to understand it. That was it.
It says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
Yeah, that's real, man. That's real. Don't think it can happen to any one of us, man. That's why it happened to these guys. They don't think it can ever happen to them. Now, I'm so sincere. I'm in the spirit. I was born with a Bible in my back. You know.
Yeah.
I got a birthmark of the book of Psalms. You know, like Jake
man.
bugging out, man.
Yeah, you said
You know?
Jake
And we making fun, but it's
bugging out.
dude, you gotta do that so cats can see the foolishness and they bragging and they boasting. What are you boasting for, man? Whatever happened to being happy to be in this truth and grateful, man? You know?
Like, what's the use of having to Edomite lick your boot when you gotta go to work the next day?
Right, right.
You gotta pay rent.
Right.
I want Yahushua to get his glory first, then we'll get ours.
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
That's right.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. You gotta go punch in the clock.
Yeah.
Wearing the same damn
One little mark licked off of there. On the construction site.
Fuck around, see that you might
Fucking plant with Homer.
get hired and get it. Become your boss and shit. Come on, man.
Damn. Right.
That's beating the air.
That's definitely beating the air, man.
I got something down real quick. This is
Okay.
Matthew 6, 4 and 5. It says that, verse 3, it says, but when thou doest alms, meaning when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. Right? That's basically just doing charitable works for bragging. You know, like celebrities. They go into, this person donated such and such money to this charity and that charity, which is phony, and it's a tax write-off.
That's right.
And a lot of times, not even their money, they just put their face on there,
Yep.
right, for publicity or whatever.
Yep.
But you got dudes in the truth that do that too, you know?
Yeah. And I said hella tights. You know, I paid this brother rent for 2 years. You know?
Supposed to be in secret.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a secret. So
Right.
now you gotta get rewarded because you said it, brother. Oh, okay, you a good brother.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where it stops.
Yep.
You
It
know?
says, yep, and when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. So yeah, so we got these different camps out here, right? And some camps they go out there in sincerity, you know, to do their work to the Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but you got other dudes, they on there for YouTube views, or they out there just to be seen of men and to get, oh yeah, you got a big camp, or this. It's all about publicity and views to them, you know, and being and what do you call that? And just being praised by men and being in this debate and that debate and winning this debate, so that yeah, good job, brother, and this and that. You know, to get praises of men.
Praises of men and built. And they're no different than these other churches, man. All right, these other poverty pimps in these churches, man. They sit there. You got Israelites talking about these marriage counselors, man.
Man.
Which the scriptures, yeah, exactly. Now, go ahead.
Hey, Philippians 1 and 15. You done, Elder?
I got one more verse.
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish that verse.
It says,
I'll
but
come
thou,
with this.
slightly, it says, they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. That's why they do it, not to be seen of the Lord, but to be seen of men, right? Verily, which means truly, I say unto you, they have their reward. So the little accolades they got, the little hand claps and all that, that's their reward, all right? But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. All right, so that was the main point. So, you know, you do things in sincerity, not to
Right.
please men, not even to please, you don't do things just be an ass kisser to your elder, to the apostle, you do it to kiss the Lord's ass, you know?
Right.
I mean, they might be proud of you,
Kiss
'cause,
the
you know,
son.
Yeah, do it for the Lord's sake. You know what I'm saying?
Because the only one can save you is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
That's it.
Paul said what? It's our job to present you as a chaste virgin to Yahushua, meaning not to follow any other philosophy,
That's right.
any other power.
That's right. You said you had something,
Yeah,
Philippians?
Philippians 1 and 15. Some indeed preach Yahushua, even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill.
Hey, you want to know an example of that real quick? There's people who leave the truth. Now, they don't be on fire when they're in the truth. But when it comes to arguing against us, like they do every video, they be on fire. Like when it's time to argue, like they right there, and they close to the video, the damn camera, But like, as far as to prophesy and go into what's happening and update Israel in the spirit, they won't do it. You know, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, nah, that's a good point, man.
It says the one preacheth, preach Yahushua of contention, not sincerity, supposing to add affliction to my bonds.
Mm.
That's what these people are doing. And that's what they do. Those scoffers, that's what they do.
Right, because it's not about
Contention.
Yeah,
You know, to fight against whatever it may be. You know?
yeah, the breakdowns. Then the same breakdowns they end up teaching later on down on a sneak tip. They end up teaching. Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, the chip. I got a potato chip.
Now
Then
you're
you,
teaching.
now you're teaching about the chip, like the RFID chip.
You're teaching about the confusion of faces now too.
Yeah, but then, which would be all fine and dandy because it is the word of the Heavenly Father.
Right.
But where's your apology video starting with the apostles on down? Right? Where the scriptures speak about repenting and everything. Where's your repent video?
Oh,
You know, I know I said Cornelius was the Edomite, but now, you know, through the Spirit of the Lord, I see he's an Israelite. I apologize, you know, apostles, all you apostles, and GMS, you bro. Right? There's no character, man.
Right.
They'll just sit there and rewrite history. You know?
Yeah, like Nate.
Yeah.
Nate is another one. Hey, I remember sitting in that council in the house of David, and them niggas didn't even want to pray with us. And it was over the Cornelius thing because we were teaching Cornelius was an Israelite.
Yep.
And you niggas was cleaving on to an old Jewish fable that was created by High Priest Ariah about Cornelius holding the book. The scripture never said Cornelius was an Edomite. It just said he was of the Italian band. Jake was all up in Italy at that time and after that time.
And before that time.
And before that time. Jake was all off up in Italy. So just because it said he was of the Italian band, that didn't say he was an Edomite. Just said he was of the Italian band. Just like you got Jakes now that's a part of the Green Berets, a part of the 32nd Airborne, a part of the Rangers, a part of the Air Force, the Army, the Marines. You got Jakes that are part of Special Forces. You got Jakes that work for the Treasury Department. I've ran into some of them when I made deliveries in DC. And they were strapped in straight up military. They were dressed up military style with all black on. They had M16s, body armor at the Treasury Department. I was making a delivery there in DC one day. There's nothing but Jake behind the counter working there. So Jake was all off up in the Roman system, and Jake is all off up in the American system, which is Rome coming back again. Same thing.
There's a scripture where it says the church at Italy.
I had Luke 18.
Lately come from Italy, or you talking about
Come from middle.
I got that.
1 and 18? What is that?
A Jew,
Acts.
that, but
Acts
it's one where it
1:18.
says greet the church at Italy.
Oh, is it in
Or
Romans
the-
16?
Or strangers at Rome.
Strangers at Rome?
Last verse.
It's at the end of one of those books.
It's
But
Romans 16.
that's just an example.
Yeah.
You know,
Jake was everywhere.
it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? What about so it said because Cornelius was of the Italian band, he's an Edomite.
Right.
Well, the Apostle Paul was from Tarsus. You know what Tarsus is at? In Turkey.
Real quick,
You from America. We from
So wait a minute. So now the Apostle Paul ain't an Israelite?
Yeah.
He said he's from Tarsus.
It's brother.
Tarsus is in Turkey. Yeah.
Brother got a
Go ahead, bro.
real quick. This is Acts. We bring this out all the time. Acts 18 and 2. I'll start at 1. After these things, Paul departed from Athens, right, which is in Greece, and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy,
Look at that.
with his wife Priscilla.
Jew.
Born in Pontus, lately come from Italy. Paul said, I am a Jew of Tarsus, which was where? In Turkey. And where's Turkey? Asia Minor. So, and that's going, what, like northwest of Syria. The northern part of Israel, Syria. If you go north, but then you go west of Syria, you're going right into Turkey. Because the Mediterranean is directly right there on where Syria is at. The Mediterranean is sitting right there. So then you go a little north and go west. Now you're in Turkey.
I got it. Hebrews 13 and 24. Salute all them that have the rule over you and all the saints, they of Italy. Salute you.
Wait a minute. All the saints and they of Italy. The saints was in Italy. So a man of the Italian band, one that feareth the Most High, and he was a devout man at that,
A good report amongst the
of
Jews.
good report
Yeah.
among the Jews. That wasn't a so-called white man.
That's right.
Because the Jews had a problem with the Israelites that grew up outside of Jerusalem and that didn't grow up wearing the garments, speaking the Hebrew. They didn't come up in the customs. They had a problem with
That was
them.
the issue.
So they called them foreigners or Gentiles. You still do that to yourselves to this day.
Uncircumcised.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a West Indian and you live here in America, you go back to Jamaica, what's the first thing they say? Oh, you one of them boy, you go firing. Him firing.
Elder Todd.
Wait a minute, you're Jamaican, right? But they calling you foreign when you go to Jamaica. Oh, him one of them boy, go foreign. Foreign, foreigner, Gentile. Puerto Ricans do the same thing to each other. Oh, you're a Puerto Rican, but you can't speak the Spanish like how they speak it in Puerto Rico, real fast and sharp. They'll call you Americano.
Yeah.
But you're a Puerto Rican. Come on, man. The tribes still do that to each other today.
In Haiti, in Haiti, the way that they call a foreign Israelite or a Haitian from America, they call them a diaspora. But the Haitian word for diaspora, that's a literal word they use.
Look at that.
You're from the diaspora.
He from the diaspora.
That's heaven.
Yeah.
That's heaven. That's which is Israelites. The dispersed.
Yep.
Right.
Right? That's what's that? John 7:35. Yep. Yep.
James 1:1.
Yep. James
Yeah.
1:1. The diaspora.
I got something real quick.
Oh,
This
matter
is,
of fact, James 1:1, it's like it. If you pull up James 1:1 in the blue letter, and you look up the word, I think scattered abroad in there, it tells you the Israelites of the diaspora.
Yeah.
That's who James is talking about.
Among the heathen.
Right, exactly. When you look it up in the blue letter.
now the scripture you said, it said the saints in Italy.
Right. Saints of
So
Israel.
this is Psalms 148 and 14. It says, he also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel.
Look at that.
So the saints are who?
Israelites.
Israelites.
Yeah.
The only saints are Israelites.
And it's funny, Cornelius represent us.
Yeah.
Because he had to go through Peter, he had to get the mercies of David, basically.
God.
And basically, that was the beginning of them being welcomed back in through the Spirit. And they had the council and all that, and they came to the conclusion, this is the prophecy of basically he said the Gentiles being brought back in through faith.
Yeah.
If you don't understand Cornelius, you don't understand the New Testament.
That's us. Cornelius is us.
Because we all Gentiles.
We heard the
Hey.
word,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey, and as a matter of fact, Slaki, Yahweh Shai said it in Matthew 10. These 12 Yahweh Shai sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles and enter any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yahweh Shai said that, number one, because in Samaria at that time, you had Ethiopians up in there who converted back during the time when the northern kingdom was removed out of there by the Assyrians. So you had, the scriptures tell you, men of Babylon were brought in there. Then they were getting slaughtered by lions. Then they had to get a Levite priest to teach them the law of the land. So the Lord stopped putting the spirit on the lions and slaughter them. Like in that movie Ghost in the Darkness. Then Yahweh Shai said, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Why did he say that? Because I think it's in Zechariah where he says the tents of Judah must be raised first. If somebody know what that's at?
Zechariah
12 is it? He talked about the tents of Judah. The tents of Judah is supposed to be raised up first. So that's why it had to go to Judah first. But then in the same book in Matthew, in the last chapter, Yahweh Shai said, go and teach all nations. It's the very last chapter in Matthew 10.
Whoa.
So in the 10th chapter, he told them, go not into the way of the Gentiles. But the very last book, he told them, look, go and teach all nations.
Basically got the believers from among,
No, I was gonna say, because he said, basically he said, since you did not want to believe, lo, I turned to the Gentiles.
Exactly. And he wasn't talking about no damn white people. He wasn't talking about no white persons.
You got to think, he got the believers from amongst the circumcision. While he was healing, he was showing them the only ones that are down are these ones that you call castaways.
Right.
I ain't find this type of faith, not even in Israel. He said
Yeah.
that. But he was making fun of them niggas because you call yourself an Israelite and you looking down on him, but their faith is surpassing yours.
Exactly.
You see?
Which is prophesied in what, Isaiah the 11th chapter? You get the outcast.
And how the hell is that? How is that hard to understand? Well, it's not hard to understand that the Most High, took that blinder off of you, it's not hard to understand.
Yep.
Like the scriptures say, Israel had, the election have obtained it, and the rest was blinded. And that's exactly what the scripture means when it says it.
Right.
The election have obtained it, but the rest were blinded.
Do we got them scriptures?
I got Zechariah.
Zechariah, and I got Acts.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7. Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first.
There you go. That was according to the prophecy. Yahweh Shai was all about the prophecy. So in Matthew, when he said, "Go not into the way of the Gentiles, enter into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Why? Read that again.
Come. Back in verse 7. Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first,
Right. He shall save the tents of Judah first. Go ahead.
that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
Look at that. So Judah had to receive it first, so the other tribes don't magnify themselves over Judah. And check this out now that we're here in America. Wait a minute. Everybody else is magnifying themselves over Judah, ain't they? Everybody got a problem with Judah. Issachar got a problem with Judah. Benjamin got a problem with Judah. Levi got a problem with Judah. Simeon got a problem with Judah. Ephraim got a problem with Judah. Manasseh has a problem with Judah. Every one of them want to dress like Judah, want to turn the hat to the side, wear the pants sagging off their ass, rock the J's. Everybody want to dress like Judah, but nobody want to be Judah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Rob. Yeah.
Hell, even Judah themselves don't want to be Judah. You tell them that they Judah, they ain't no fucking Jew.
Hey, but I got something else for you too to go with that.
Bring it in.
Is there more there or
I'll read verse 8.
Mhm.
In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David.
Man, that power is gonna come, and people are it's gonna get set on them. Because the Lord said, the feeble among them shall be as David. That's the feeble.
Right.
Now, how much more the mighty?
Watch. Keep going, watch.
And the house of David shall be as the Most High.
Look at that. Look at that. Wait a minute. He that is feeble shall be as David. What did David say? Blessed is the Lord who teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. that by a bow of steel is broken with my hand. So that's the feeble. That's the feeble. So man, we're gonna be Alahayim. We're gonna be powers.
Yeah,
man.
like
we're gonna be powers.
like
man.
the movie The Avengers, Thanos. See how Thanos fucking up the Hulk and everybody. The least man is gonna be like Thanos, and even more powerful than that. You know, just to give you an example.
Shit, the men under Thanos
Yeah.
was bad as hell.
They was bad too, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Right. No.
that's
yeah.
just a glimpse
Mm-hmm.
of how the Most High is gonna give us that spiritual power. Those that wait on Him. That's a key thing, and it's true. Going back to the original point, is patience, man. All right, you got to remember that the Lord is long suffering. That's why you got to be patient. You got to wait. You know, the scriptures say, "Blessed art thou, O land, when thy princes and nobles eat in due season." All right, meaning it's going to be a time where the Lord is going to bless us and give us all these goodies, give us that spiritual power. But we just got to what? We got to go through the suffering. You see, and a lot of guys don't want to deal with the suffering. You know, and if you ain't ready to suffer, you ain't gonna make it. All right, Yahweh Shai said, "Woe unto you who have lost your patience." Okay, so go ahead, you got it, brother.
Come. Back in verse 8. And the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of Yahweh before them.
It said the house of David. That means David's entire cabinet. Everybody that was under King David when David came into power after Saul. All the tribes that came unto David, of the men of Reuben, the half tribe of Manasseh, Gad, Naphtali, Issachar. All that came that was up under and that was a part of David's house. Those mighty men, all the mighty men. Who was the mightiest of the mighty? Benaniah, Joab.
Yeah. But now it said as the angel of the Lord. Now, like as Micah Allah.
Look at that, man.
All right. Remember Helidorius? Helidorius?
Mhm.
Right?
Heliodorus, yeah.
If I'm saying the name right,
Heliodorus,
Heliodorus?
met the angel of Most High.
man, he got shit beat out of him.
There appeared that horse and pop, 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 pop. And then the angel, he said two men appeared beside him. They just started beating the shit out of his ass.
So it said but see, this is real talk. This is what the scriptures are saying. The Lord's going to see right now, we in a low ass state. He's starting to roll up on us right now because we still in that time, right? But once the Lord put that spirit on us, that's going to be it, man. That's why the scriptures speak of in 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter that we all should be changed in the twinkling of an eye. All right? Because why? We got bodies waiting for us, man. So there's no room to glory, not even in these bodies, man. These bodies, I mean, you know, brothers might be all in shape, brothers might be good at fighting, boxing, or playing sports, entertaining, or whatever. That's nothing to glory over because these bodies are really weak. We want to get to them new bodies that the Lord got waiting for us.
You never tired. Run never tired.
Run-
These bodies you train.
Man.
You gotta take a rest day, 2 rest days, let your body recuperate. Right? The
Of
Lord
course,
said that our bodies we never tired.
Never tired.
You don't need no rest days. You know,
Yeah.
you don't run out of gas after 10 steps or whatever. Just keep going and going and going.
Right, if you such in tip top physical shape, okay. Let's see how you deal with 300 men. Or how about 800 men? How about 1,000 men? You by yourself.
Super
So the
soldier.
scripture say 10 used to make 1,000 go to flight.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Yep. Shit, man, free.
We was a mighty nation, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Mighties.
I think this brother got a scripture.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 59 and 19.
Oh, damn.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun.
Right, and again, I like to bring out the point of fearing the name of the Lord. Because a lot of people in this day and age, they made light of the name of the Lord. Mockery of the name of the Lord. You know, they're taking the name of the Lord in vain. So it says, so should they fear the name of the Lord. It's speaking about the men of the Lord, the elect. They're going to fear his name, Yahweh and Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Bad.
And his glory from the rising of the sun.
Right, and his glory, them chariots, man. Them chariots. Man, that last, one of them last sightings that came out last week, where the chick, I don't know if it was the negative that she showed, and she seen all them, look like hundreds of thousands of chariots.
Yeah.
She was seeing the shape with the line. I don't know if y'all seen that.
Okay.
Man, that's glory, man.
Come.
You know? But,
It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood,
right, because Esau, you hear Donald Trump, we're going to do a big raid. We're going to get rid of you. At least 10,000 of you. You know, ICE is going to come looking for you this Sunday. They just threatening niggas, man. You know? They just putting it out there. We coming, look, all you illegal immigrants, we coming for you Sunday. Iran, we about to bomb you. Then they, oh, well, you know what, we going to wait. We can bomb you whenever we want. Talking all this shit. So here it is. We up here prophesying against America, the downfall of America, according to the Holy Bible. You think they ain't going to try to make a move on us? So the Lord said, what? The enemy, go ahead.
it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, shall lift up a standard against him.
The spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, shall lift up a standard against them. Meaning the Lord is going to check Esau, man, through spiritual power, man. All right? Most I ain't going to have no damn tanks and, you know, M16s and none of that. Spiritual power, you're going to destroy this devil, man. With a force that's never been seen ever on this face of this earth, man. You know?
Like you just mentioned. Daniel's a 12 chapter. That's when Michael should stand up.
On 12 and 1, yeah.
That's why them chariot sightings are
Yeah.
becoming more and more, you know, all over. They can't hide it no more.
That's our power.
Yeah, that's right. And that's a beautiful thing. That's the spirit of the Lord that we have more chariot sightings because why? We in that time. You know, we in that time when Yahweh Shai is about to crack the heavens. And that's why the spirit's getting on brothers to do lessons and, you know, speak on and you know, checking yourself and everything. You know, like the brother quoted the Apostle Paul. He said, I want to present you as a chaste robe before the Lord. You know, that's why he said I had to constantly get on you or whatever, you know. Yeah, we close, man. We definitely close. More precept.
Psalms 113 and 1, 2. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh. Praise, O ye servants of the Lord Yahweh. Praise the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore.
That's beautiful, man. That's straight up, man. Okay, come.
Isaiah chapter 41, I'm going to start at verse 13 and read down to 16. For I, Yahweh, thy power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob.
Right, and a lot of cats is shook. That's why they don't want to come out to the camp. They're afraid of, they like, man, y'all crazy, man. Esau gonna roll up on y'all, man. What's wrong with y'all niggas, man? The Lord said, fear not. And what is there to fear? Right? Esau can't do nothing more than what the Most High allows him. Once you know who the power is, you ain't, man, I'm fearing the Most High. Fuck you devils,
What
man.
worse can be than Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68?
Yeah, going through that, man. Shit. And it proved, we was talking about it earlier, to show you that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai is with us, because like they're making a big deal about the Central Park 5, right? That could have easily been any of us.
Yep.
Right? But we out there really sticking it to Esau, man. But the Spirit of the Lord, the scriptures say that, is it Psalms 34 or Psalms 37, the angels of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him. 34 and 7. See? So, go ahead.
It says, fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith Yahweh.
Right. He didn't say he's going to help the other heathen. He said, you men of Israel. He didn't say he's going to help you damn crackers, man. So when you get a damn devil, like Vocab Malone, or any of these other damn devils, these fake Christian apologists, these wicked-ass devils, all right? Just that, devils, a bunch of goddamn lies. The Lord said he's going to help Israel, man. He didn't say he's helping you other damn nations, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth.
Yeah, that's old school. That's oldie but goodie.
Go burn all of them guns. We go be the gun.
Yeah. Like Megatron.
Yeah, we go be the weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lord's, basically, that's what it is. The
That's a
Lord
beautiful scripture.
transforming us into a weapon, man.
Yeah.
Apostle, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I know what you was about to say.
No.
One more name?
Yeah. He said, Apostle Gabar said he's going to make us into a souped up lawnmower.
Oh, yeah. And Homo, he had the power to turn out the lights on the whole earth. Cut out the lights. Cut out the lights. Go ahead.
Verse 15, it says, behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth.
Something that they've never seen before.
It represents power.
Yeah.
Crush, destroy, kill.
That's right. Because Esau like to boast about, because that was his blessing, the sword. And in his military, the military got a lot of shit. They got sonic weapons, they got shit.
Oh, Rocky Darper.
Right?
They ain't humble about
Yeah.
it. You go on YouTube, they on there bragging about this shit.
Yeah.
They ain't humble at all. Letting you know you got some shit coming forward with us.
Yeah, they got shit that can make you feel like you on fire, you burning and shit.
Isaiah 31 and 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High,
Ooh.
and their horses flesh and not spirit.
Mm.
When the Lord shall stretch forth his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that hopeth shall fall down, and they shall all fail together.
Yeah, when Yahushua come back.
Yeah, when Yahushua come back.
And all these dumb niggas that's joining this man's military, the Air Force and everything. Yeah, no, I just want to fly planes.
Right. Everything they have is based upon the left hand, it's the flesh.
Yeah.
There's a limit to it.
Right.
But the chariots, that's because when you read the verse 5, it says, as birds flying, so will the Lord defend Jerusalem. So the chariots, there's no limit. You can't put no limit.
They don't got to stop to go get refueled.
Right.
Fuel up and
Air
shit.
Force and all that, they can take
They defy
Yeah.
gravity.
Defy gravity.
They can disappear, and they can disappear at the size of a penny, and then reappear the size of a mountain. What you gonna do with that?
They got another terminology, they call them USOs. Unidentified submerged objects. They go right into the water.
Oh yeah.
And come out without making a splash.
The other term that they had UAR, unidentified aerial phenomenon. You know? Because it's phenomenal, but what they can do can't be explained.
That's right.
I'm sorry. You done, bro?
I got something.
You got more? Oh, you go.
You finished, brother?
Scriptures on lock.
I'll finish it up real quick. It says, thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff.
Them governments. So all these people that are in power, all of these different governments all throughout the world, they're gonna get destroyed. They're gonna be brought down. Them and their military might, they're gonna be brought down. Period.
That was it.
Leviticus 26:7, down to I think about 8. It says, "And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall chase 100." Look at that. 5 of us is going to whoop the shit out of 100 men.
And you know what? When that happened during the time of King David, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they went out to battle, and they didn't have this modern day technology or whatever. King David himself will slay about 20,000. What is it? 20,000 men, 22,000 men. I think it was.
By his hand.
By his hand.
Yeah.
By his hand.
By his hand.
Yeah, hand-to-hand combat.
They was going out slaying tens of thousands of men through hand. How you say
Hand-to-hand combat.
Hand-to-hand combat, man.
That's right. Meaning every blow was a death blow. You
Right.
ain't have
Right.
time to be sitting there duking it out with a motherfucker. It was head chop, body cut in half.
Them motherfuckers was no joke.
Yeah.
The Philistines, there was some tall,
Yeah.
and
they could fight.
warriors.
They was
Yeah,
just
they
running
was
through
running
it.
that
Yeah.
Imagine what kind of shape they was in.
Man.
They battling like that all night.
Wasn't no GMOs.
Nah, no GMOs.
For hours, bro.
And that was the blessing the Lord said he would put on us if we followed what he told us to do.
You got more?
Yeah, there's more. Oh, yeah, there's more. It says, "And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight." So then 100 of us is gonna put 10,000 men
Imagine.
to flight.
Yeah.
100.
It's like 5 GMS camps.
Yeah.
It's beating the shit out of, you know.
The whole world.
Shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemy shall fall
That's a small city.
before you by the sword.
That's how the Lord gives
Look at
the
that.
glory. In small numbers. Because when you're great in numbers, they would think it's,
Right.
strength of our own might.
Right,
In
right,
small
right.
numbers, you know, it's divine intervention.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I said the feeble. You mentioned the feeble. It's gonna be like King David. That's gonna show the most high power. It's gonna be like Captain America before they made him Captain America. He's all like the little skinny,
Yeah.
dweeb looking motherfucker. Then when they put him in a thing, they transform him. You know, he was all diesel, he could fight and all that. You know, most I don't take a brother that's sickly or and all that, and transform him into like a warrior with spiritual power, just running through armies.
He that is feeble among you shall be as David.
Yeah.
That's my scripture.
Super Friends, you ever watch the Legion of Doom when they used to go against, when they had the Indian.
Yep.
You get about 150 feet tall.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying no chuck, and then he was
It's an old school
grow.
cartoon.
It takes humility to get that power.
Well,
You
yeah,
don't
Lord,
get that power if you don't believe, because a lot of people hear that and they don't believe that that type of power exists,
right,
because this world is as far as they see, you know.
right. And then it goes back to two. Matter of fact, I got another scripture because Lord ain't gonna just give that to any old nigga.
Right.
You know, and that's what goes into control. We were speaking about having rule over your spirit. You know, because you imagine if y'all was shy with a not went on the cross and fucked up the Caesar.
Said
And,
this is too much.
you know, said nah, fuck this, don't get you niggas, man.
Yeah.
Right? We wouldn't be here today. That's why the scripture say he was reviled and reviled not. And he told him, he said, don't think that you got power to take my life. I'm laying my life down on the line so that you know that I love the Father, and I'm laying my life on the line for the rest of these brothers, for the nation, actually.
And he could have ended it. He had the power to send legions.
Yeah.
Look, if some of these niggas had that power, the story would have went completely different.
Well, way different, man.
Yeah, like the Zealots.
Yeah,
The
them-
Zealots had, or Sicarians, they had the power.
Them demons, man.
Yeah.
But this is a quick one. This is Proverbs 25 and 26. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain in a corrupt spring. It is not good to eat much honey, so for men to search their own glory is not glory. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
No defense.
No defense. You're gonna be easily taken. So the Lord ain't gonna get his truth. That's why the Lord is making us suffer. Long suffer, patience. Scripture let patience have a perfect work. Back in James, the 1st chapter. That's why the Lord is doing this, man. He's grooming us for the kingdom to be able to receive these powers. We ain't at no level coming into this truth. We a bunch of niggas coming from the world, right? So the Lord's bringing us through that way, right? Making us become new creatures in Yahweh Shai. And now we're learning how to be patient, how to suffer, how to endure hardness, humility, right? Who had the precept?
I had-
Okay, yeah, I have one real quick.
Okay, yep.
Psalms 118:6. Yahweh Bashing Al Shai is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me?
That's deep, that's sweet.
Which one is that?
Psalms 118:6.
Let me bring this out real quick. This is about King David. It's a couple verses. This is an apocrypha. Sirach 47. I'll start at 1. It says, after him rose up Nathan to prophesy in the town of David. And as is the fat taken away from the peace offering, so was David chosen out of the children of Israel. He played with lions as with kids, and with bears as with lambs.
Yeah.
Slew he not a giant when he was yet but young?
Spirit was on him.
King David was no joke, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the thing is how we all gonna be, you know.
Hey, and I gotta say, so King David ain't gonna come back as no wicked ass nigga, man. A little low level, you know what I'm saying, chump ass nigga, man. You know, you got a lot of different people thinking that they King David, you know? You got different congregations, oh, we got King David. But a nigga thinks because his name is David, he's King David.
Right.
Yep. It says verse 4, slew he not a giant when he was yet but young? And did he not take away reproach from the people when he lifted up his hand with the stone in the sling and beat down the boasting of Goliath?
Mm.
And who's Goliath today? Esau.
That's right.
Right? So it said when he lifted up his hand with the stone in the sling, right? That's gonna be us with the spiritual power.
And we trust in that rock. That rock is
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh.
Yeah.
Great millstone.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
There you
right.
go, Shar.
The Most High likes to make it, he's, that theater. It's that theater.
The theater of war, yeah. And beat down the boasting Goliath, for he called upon the Most High Lord, and he gave him strength in his right hand to slay that mighty warrior, and to set up the horn of his people. So the people honored him with 10,000s, and praised him in the blessings of the Lord, in that he gave him a crown of glory. For he destroyed the enemies on every side, and brought to naught the Philistines, his adversaries. There were some fierce warriors, and break their horn in sunder unto this day. And all, let me see, yeah, that's about it, you know?
And you speaking about those Philistines, how they were mighty warriors, man. Like it says here, this is the book of because the brother was saying something about those Hamites, how they were rough warriors. This is Numbers 13, and just to go back and touch on history a little bit. Numbers 13, and I'm gonna start at 32. The point is in the last verse, 33. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to search it, it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people that we saw in it are men of a great stature. Because them Hamites, they were giants, man. So it's like, you know, when you got a man that's bigger, faster, stronger, the only chance the little guy got is if the bigger, faster, stronger man makes a mistake, and then he can catch him. Like Mike Tyson, for instance. A lot of those guys, they were bigger now, they weren't faster. Man, but they probably weren't stronger. They just had leverage because of their height. But when they made a mistake, he made them pay. And he made them pay viciously.
Yeah. Right.
But it says, and there we saw the giants, the